So we're gonna spend a little time together this afternoon. Give everybody a chance to get notified. We're gonna play a little Big Dog right now from Father Indigo. Yeah, everything is fine. It was just it was a lot of traffic getting to work this morning, so we wasn't able to go live and everything else. But we're here now. We're gonna spend some time together right now.
Uniting all the nations, think about it out for patience. Cooking peace and having aprons. Angelic in my cadence. These causes separations. Satellite moving blatant. Where's God been waiting? Initiating stations. Pyramids rising vibrations. Open up your heart to my Lord right now. Call is too late, time to bring my crown. Don't believe it's water, non-believers must drown. Don't need a Bentley cause my tribe must bow. Been hated on since the king touched down. Everything you owe us, you must bring us now. Big God, big God, Found Christ, no TDJs. All the coon can't see a face. Our DNA can't create a race. White Jesus, we replace. Wet V can't eat a steak. And my people, hey.
Grand Rising, family. You can tell other nations are just looking to just grasping at straws every single day. You know, redheads or gingers or black. White people have black fatigue now. And everything is still to pretty much hide or run away from the reality of the fact that you have been destroying the Most High's chosen people. That's the one thing that you make up every other distraction to take away from. You're trying your best to take away from the fact that for you even to fix your mouth or your face to say something about black fatigue, when all it is the Israelites bringing your history and your lies back to you. That's all that it is. The fact that you're saying it's black fatigue, the vast majority of the black people aren't even talking about what we're talking about. The vast majority of the so-called black people are blassels to your system. So you don't have a problem with blassels. You don't have a problem with Pastor Mitchells. You don't have a problem with these pastors going out there and spewing all their nonsense. You only have a problem with the chosen people who have been bringing your actions back to you. That's all that it is. But you guys are trying to hide that with black. Are you tired of the brown people who have been pretty much your lapdogs this whole time? Are you tired of the yellow people that, have been pretty much your lapdogs this whole time? No. You're tired of the chosen people who aren't listening to your breakdowns anymore and who are being led by the Holy Spirit. Those are the ones that you are getting fatigued from. People like myself, people that are actually, have history, have the Bible, have other books, and bringing that information to you. You got Blassel Mitchell talking about, Christian, the name Christian, that was used derogatory towards, us. To Christians, us, back in the day. I'm like, you didn't say anything about him. You don't complain about him going out there every week and lying out of his ass every single day. You don't got a problem with this African general, president, whatever his dude going out here, and you guys put him all in the forefront. You don't have any problem with that. See, you don't have any problems with the Negroes who fall in line. You don't have a problem with the Africans, because remember, the Africans are like, you black Americans, you guys worry too much about the past. We're not like you guys. We're totally different. Yeah, you're not tired of those black people. So let's be specific on who you're really tired of. You're tired of people who, as soon as you pull out a pope, and as soon as the next day or the same day, they talk about his record with hiding what the little priests are doing with the little children. That's what you're tired of. You're tired of someone who's going to actually, because you Catholics ain't going to do that. You Catholics are like, don't say a damn thing. So you can't be tired of the Hamites. You can't be tired of your parishioners because they don't say anything. So then who exactly are you having this black fatigue from? You guys have to be a lot more specific. Who are the ones, the ones that are white fighting for, for reparations? And, they always talk about slavery. That's not the so-called Blassels. The Blassels don't say anything. Hey, boss, we sick? Hey, boss, we good. Hey, boss, we don't want reparations. Hey, boss, we don't want anything, that, was promised to our ancestors. No, boss, no, we good. No, see, those are the good old boys that you guys want around you. So again, those aren't the people that you're tired of. You're tired of the ones that you have to stop videos and stop likes and stop people, getting notified. Those are the ones that you're really getting tired of. Because, it's impossible for videos to always constantly stop at the same numbers almost every single time. But you guys managed to do that. So it sounds like those are the ones that you're kind of tired of. You probably should be getting tired of your Blassels because they've worn out their welcome. Right? Erasing comments in real time. Exactly. Video will be up for about 12 hours. All of a sudden, like nobody's making comments. It's taking 6 hours for one comment, 4 hours for one comment. The videos don't move anymore. None of that. So it kind of seems like you get tired of people putting out information that pretty much shames you. And you have a problem with those people. Why don't you be specific about who you are? Because you're not tired of the vast majority of these Blassels out here. Those, like I said, you guys, these guys, these other black people that you guys talk about, they go out and they just regurgitate the same stuff that you talk about every day. And then that's exactly it, David. They are tired of hearing the truth. That is what, so stop saying black people. Just say, I'm tired of hearing the truth. That's what you should say. I'm sick and tired of having my history shoved in my face. Why don't you say that? And why don't you say it's a few black people, not all of us, because the vast majority of the so-called black people are not doing that. So you're sick and tired of someone who's bringing out knowledge and understanding. You're sick and tired of people talking about that Pacific slave trade, right? And it's funny because now you can see the curses switching. I'm going to play a video in a little bit of this Native American who lost, her status because of the fact that she didn't meet blood quantum. And her dad, the same thing. He's fighting to stand his land. I'm fighting for my mother's legacy, as he says. I'm fighting to stay here and for my mother's legacy. Nah, you fighting for that free rent, bruh. You fighting for that free rent. You fighting for them free checks. You're fighting for that free designation. That's what you guys are really fighting for. You're not fighting because you want to be Indian. And you can walk around. Yeah, I mean, you can be like us. We say we're Native American, but nobody recognizes us, but we're still Native American. Why don't y'all do that? If you really believe that that's who you are, and you really believe that you should you should not need someone else to pretty much validate it for you. See, we don't need validation from anyone. But see, that's what they're worried about. They want that validation from the man. That's what they're fighting for. I could care less about validation from the man. See, that's the difference between you pretendians and us. We don't give a rat's ass about getting Esau and the white man and the Europeans to validate us, because all they validate us for is to be African Americans. That's it. That's all we can be. So, we can't be anything else but African Americans. But they let you guys be Native Americans with no proof. Hey, look, it doesn't feel too good, does it, huh? It doesn't feel so good being a certain thing for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden they just switch the rules up, and now all of a sudden you're not who you thought you were anymore. Exactly. The Most High has validated us. We don't need anyone else to validate us, right? We don't need to go to Egypt for help. We don't need to go to Egypt for validation. But apparently, you natives do. And I'll play that video in a minute. I'm gonna move real fast. I said, apparently you natives do. You want the white man to validate you. I said, what do we need him to validate us for? I said, why, if you guys are part of the 12 tribes chart and you guys know who you are and you're Gad, then why in the hell would you need Esau to validate you? Hey, just asking for a friend. Hold on. And see, that's what happens when you can stand up in front of those, like in Wisdom chapter 5, you can stand up in great boldness in front of those that have oppressed you. See, that shows you that you are not the people, because you're not willing to stand up in great boldness. If supposedly the white man has pretty much destroyed you as a people, why don't you stand up in great boldness and say, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you say I am native. I don't need you to validate that for me. The Most High, the Great Spirit, as you guys like to call, your God, the Great Spirit. Then why wouldn't you be more concerned with the Great Spirit proving who you are as opposed to running to the white man to get validation? Because true people, they ain't worried about that. So that shows then, again, that you can't be who you say you are. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm back. Good. Now, when you go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. If supposedly you Native Americans are who you say you are, and that you've had to deal with the white man destroying you and doing these horrible things, why aren't you standing up in great boldness when he takes away your designation? Why don't you guys do that? Nah, you're gonna go and cry and complain because you need the white man to validate you. If we had to sit around and wait for the white man to validate us, we would still be in 2012. We would still be thinking that we are nothing but black people, Negroes, that we're good for nothing, that, our parents were lazy, our forefathers, that our history started with slavery. That's what we would believe, right? If we were like you Native Americans and all you other groups, even Ish had to wait for the white man to validate him. Ish had to wait for 1948 and the Balfour Declaration in order for him to be validated. Where is Ish if they're the people standing up in great boldness? Where are they at? Hey, great seeing you, Brother Moriel. Great seeing all of you people here. Thank you for taking care of the chat. We appreciate you. So I'm going to play a little bit real quick. I'm not going to be here too long. But I'm going to play this one video. Why aren't these people standing up in great boldness right here?
For Santana Rebang, what stings the most is the feeling of being stripped of her identity.
It's a direct attack on who I am. Technically, on paper, I'm not native.
Santana Rebang and her grandfather, Robert Rebang, were also disenrolled. Okay. For Santana Rebang, what stings the most is the feeling of being stripped of her identity.
It's a direct attack on who I am. Technically, on paper, I'm not Native.
Santana Rabang and her grandfather Robert Rabang were also disenrolled. Santana now lives in Lumi, the tribe where her mother is from. But she's not a member of Lumi either because she doesn't meet blood quantum requirements there. Blood quantum was imposed by the U.S. government in the early 1900s as a means to define and limit citizenship within Indian tribes. It's still being used today to measure the amount of tribal blood in a person's ancestry.
Blood quantum isn't how we identify as Indigenous. It's my connection to the land and the knowledge that I carry. It's not the amount of blood that I have in me. It's the fact that it's there and lives through me is all that matters to me. But I'm not enrolled anywhere.
This neighborhood is where Santana grew up learning Nooksack traditions.
Hello, my grandchildren.
And since Robert is no longer considered Nooksack, he's also facing eviction. He's fighting to stay to preserve his mother's legacy, the woman who was known for weaving baskets out of cedar.
It's been really stressful. It just hurts. All these people were our friends when we first came up here. Now they're all turning their backs like you. Which I know it's really difficult. I don't want to give up my mom's fight. I'm fighting for her. It could get really ugly because I'm not leaving here.
I think there is a deeper concern and heartache, really, because now they might be losing their homes.
They are perceiving the fact that because they are not able to enroll in Nooksack, that they have nothing, and that's not the case. They have options to housing, just like all people have options to housing. They just do not have options to housing with Nooksack.
Rosemary says housing is hard to come by, and that's why they're pushing hard to make the Rabangs leave. She says about 60 people who are Nooksack await housing. Some are in this house that's now homeless shelter.
We're not saying that they don't belong anywhere else. We encourage them to find their lineage to where they do belong.
For Robert, that means he'll likely move to Canada, where he already has a home. Santana's hopes is to join the Lumi tribe. Discussions to revise the Lumi tribe's basis for enrollment would mean she wouldn't have to prove the amount of blood she has, but rather her connection to the land.
And like people were saying, hey, you make a deal with the devil, and this is what happens. You make a deal with the devil, and this is what happens. You made a deal to cut us out. You made a deal, like it said, a century ago. So blood quantum was what, around 1930? So somehow that, you guys agreed to that. That tells you who's been here thousands and thousands of years. That lets you know who was here before 1492. Something that you guys agreed on, again, in what, 1930s, 1920s. See, this is the whole thing. You guys made a deal, but this deal has an expiration date. So now all of a sudden, hey, are you guys having black fatigue too? See, we're having Psalms 83 fatigue. Paper Indians, right? Rodney Jones, exactly. That is exactly what you guys are. But everything that you guys are is based off of paper. Based off of the government agreeing with you or you agreeing with the government. You come into an agreement. That is it. Has nothing to do with the truth. I mean, look, all of a sudden now you got new African Americans. You got new African Americans, white South Africans now coming in, and because they get their lands stolen by the Africans, now they don't have anywhere to go. So now I guess we're going to give them money and give them the opportunity to come here and and take over. Refugees. How do you Latinos feel about that? How do you Latinos who are being kicked out of here feel about them bringing in so-called African Americans, white Africans? As you can see, your deal that you made with them is not is not a good one, and it came with an expiration date, and the expiration date is here. 40 acres and a Tesla. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is that everybody has been suckered. Everyone has been suckered. You see what I'm saying? Dutch descendants from South Africa, exactly. Dutch descendants from South Africa. Let me move again, family. Hold on. So yeah, I mean it's an absolute mess. And now all these things with like I said, these South Americans coming in, they're offering them free housing, free this, free that. Again, that's not your money. That's not your money. Okay? And you're not going to be able to get away with that anymore. As people can see now how ridiculous it looks, right? People can see how ridiculous this whole thing looks now. But look, this is what they did with you. So all it is really is an opportunity to see the deals you made in the past are now being made again, but with other groups, and now you're being excluded. You brown people, you are just now us. You're getting the same treatment that we did. All of a sudden you're getting, you're not who you say you are. You don't have the rights to stay here. All because you made a deal with the Edomites, and now exactly they're reneging on you. And now you're all upset. But look, this is exactly the deal that you took. You were those South Africans. The South Africans you see today, that was you. The South Africans that are now, being brought over here and they're going to be African Americans and everything else, that was you. But you also had that hush money. You couldn't admit who the people are. That's Psalms 83 to the T. It was everybody working together to make Israel, not known worldwide. There's nothing new under the sun. So what they did to us, they're now doing to you. Exactly, so fully sowing seeds. They can't steal our birthright. Although all Psalms 83 tried to. But see, now you got these other people who are now not getting those dainties anymore. Now they're getting pissed. I'm like, why are you pissed now? That was the deal that you made. It wasn't going to be forever. You were going to be here for a good time, not a long time. You were going to be playing our parts for a short time, not a long time. I hope you enjoyed your good time. It wasn't going to be for a long time. And see, people think that, they dodged a bullet with the tariffs. No, they didn't. I was watching a video today. Guy said, it's still horrible. It says, you know what it just showed you? That America, you Americans here, have no power. You got punked by China. They said you pretty much got, China just ignored you when you were saying, come do a deal, do a deal, do a deal. All you did was agree to a 20% tax that we're all going to have to pay on Chinese items. Whatever the tariffs were 10% before, now they're 30%. We're the ones that have to pay that. And China gave up nothing. China pretty much gave up nothing. And we gave a 20% tax on the people here. And the bond market is now like collapsing. And they're already, I guess, we're third in trading with China. So China's already diversified a bunch of their trade partners. So they didn't even need America. They could just start trading with other people. We are the ones that needed China. Babylonians here needed China. So all that did was show you that the good old boy network is done. Right? The Edom, the great eagle, is done. So you guys were running around here with your chest all puffed out. China just caved your chest in and didn't have to do anything. They gave no concessions whatsoever. So all that tough talk about we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and they said now your allies are going to be pissed off because China got a better deal. Now all these allies are going to come wanting a deal also. This is Pluto power. Right? Exactly. They did not even returning in calls, but putting Obama speeches on when Trump was calling. Right? Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face, right? Exactly. So as you can see, the superpower that America was is done. And now we're getting more knowledge and understanding of how to use our angels. If you watched the video last night, it showed you that like Levi was like, hey, what's your name? I want to be able to call on your name. I need to be able to call on your name so that, you know, I can get support. I can get help. I can get, you know, power. Most High. I had some idiot, let me see if I can find it, try to make a comment. I'm like, about the video. Oh, we only call on Jesus. Look, bruh. He's all brother. Hey, brother. No, I'm not your brother. I don't know why you guys even keep calling us that. That stuff does not work anymore. We don't invite people in. We don't just, hey, you're black, come on in. See, we don't play that BS. I said, oh, you're black like me, oh, come on in. No, because the most of you are sent by the Edomites. You've been loving them the whole time, so keep loving them. I said, I don't understand why you would seem to think that anybody here would care about your breakdown for anything. You know, I said, we don't care about your guys' breakdown for absolutely anything because you have no understanding. You are a blassel. You are nothing to me. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Something to be ignored. Someone to be ignored. Even if you're even a real person. Let me see if it's still here. Oh, this idiot here. Fritz Jerome. Respectfully, the wrong, brother. We call on the only name Jesus, and he will send the angels. Don't call or use any other name. I don't even take these people seriously. I don't even think they're even really people anymore. It says, I'm not your brother. I says, keep calling on their God and see where that gets you, Blassel. I said, if that was true, then why are your religions and societies failing worldwide? I thought you were supposed to be raptured by now. It says, prove that Gentiles have authority over the scriptures, or that we are limited to only 66 or 80 books. See, if things were going swimmingly for you, then I could see you guys coming over here and trying to say something. If you've been calling on Jesus and things are going great in your society and things are going great in your churches, in your religions, okay, cool. But you guys are batting a 1,000 for losing. You guys are batting 1,000 for losing every single argument. You're batting 1,000 with fake history. You're batting 1,000 with fake people being designated. Your blassels and vassals are now batting 1,000 for being pissed off and upset they made a covenant with you. So how do you fix your face to say the only name we call on is Jesus? You know what? Jesus has left the building and has left you holding the bag. You are now holding the bag, looking at lions now. You are nothing but sheep. And you come into the lion's den, running your mouth with nothing to back up anything that you say. You know what I'm saying? And I had some other one. I put her comment to the top. I was like, yeah, cool. I said, I'll put your comment up to the top. I said, because, you know, hey, but of course there's no response back. You know, that's why I said, I don't even think a lot of these are even real people at this point. Because I think the real people know to keep their mouths shut at this point. Because the only reply on it was mine. It says, you put it right here, and I'll read it. It says the tariffs are a tax on the people, poor. Why would the Most High tax the chosen ones? The empty ports were due to extremely high tariffs. Are you the Most High in the room? Do you know what tariffs even are? I said, exactly, probably a YouTube bot. So I said, all right, whatever. I says, since you're so smart, explain Revelation 6 and 8. Then connect that with Revelation 18. Then conclude with Baruch chapter 4. Then sprinkle in some extra historical books on the treatment of Negroes by the three-headed eagle dragon talked about in the Apocrypha. Then maybe you'll be qualified to get in the back of the line to get one question in with me. But understand, it's a very long line. It says, do you even know who the Most High's children are? I'll wait. It says, in fact, I'll pen your comment so you can teach us all. So, again, the real people aren't even trying to go back and forth anymore. Real people, these real Christians aren't even trying to go back and forth anymore because they already know that they can't prove anything that they're saying. And the Most High is showing you every day by the status of the, of this world. We get nothing but crickets over here. They have no leg to stand on. Exactly. Because like I said, you got to be, if all you're doing is using YouTube bots, all they can do is come and put like a comment and leave. As far as going back and forth, they can't do that. They can't do any of that. Because like I said, that's the Holy Spirit. When we can go to, hey, look at what's going on. And now look at Revelation 6. Now go to Baruch 4. Now go to Revelation 11, right? Now go to any historical books. Now come here. Now go there. They don't do that. Exactly. We know they don't read. Exactly. And when you look at that video about that lady wanting us to feel sorry for her because they're getting ready to kick her off the reservation, and the dad as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is where you guys are at this point. And I'm going to play this one because this woman tried to talk about how the great things the so-called Europeans brought all over the world.
We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things, and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is.
There were some terrible things and some good things out of colonization. I was like, see, that's the whole thing. When you guys are not the ones who were colonized, then you seem to think that you're still in a position to tell us what was good and what was bad about the bad shit you did when you got here. You're not in any position to tell us what was good that we got from you. You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys still think that it's 1900s, and you get to come over here and tell us what was good about what you did to us. I'm gonna play a little bit of it right here. I'm gonna go back and listen to it again from the beginning.
We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things, and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation. Transportation. There was so much that we brought to communities. But that is...
Education. You brought education, sanitation, and transportation. We didn't have any of that before you got here. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the lies you have to tell yourself about the good things you brought. Because you know that you brought nothing but, that's what we're telling you. Rape, robbery, murder. Rape, robbery, and murder, that's all you brought. You brought hell. That's what the Bible says, Revelation 6 and 8. Hell followed with them, that's all that you brought. Diseases. But you think that you're going to tell us the great things that, and I'm saying we're sitting here telling you, we had transportation before you got here. We had history before, the history we didn't get because you burned all the history that we had. Transportation, sanitation, you guys were dirty, full of diseases. And you guys brought what? What, you brought medicine? You brought cleanliness? Come on now. This is the lie you tell yourselves.
But you see, you're typical of what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying that colonization, the empire was wrong. It was wrong, full stop. That's, you know, the things that Britain might
But
have
that's
done.
very much
do not
through your modern
compensate for
sensibilities,
it.
you might say that, because we wouldn't now routinely go into other countries.
It was a profoundly racist set of basically invasions of other people, where we subjugated people to our rule and sort of made them work for us. It was
Put yourself in the
completely-
shoes
Their country's work.
But imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What do they then? How do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in
you
terms
don't-
of who I am as a Brit.
But it's not about
I'm not saying
racist
we shouldn't
ancestors.
say it,
But Bev,
but I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely.
Of course there were
so I don't
benefits
think
to
I
us.
don't think there were.
There are benefits to
A
all
lot
of
of
those
those countries did.
Jonathan,
Just said. He just said there were no benefits. Well, there was benefits for us. There were benefits for us. There you go. You were the only person that benefited from this. You see what I'm saying? Like she said, I'm gonna go back a little bit. She just tells you, well, there's benefits for us. That's it. You're the only ones that benefited. So that would only make sense now that when the Most High switches this, that the only people who are going to be benefiting is going to be us, because you're the only ones that benefited when you were on top. But you guys seem to think that you benefited, you're the only ones that benefited by going worldwide and rape, robbing, murdering, and stealing, and that somehow you're going to get benefited again by getting raptured up out of here, and that's going to be, and we're all going to stay here again. That makes no sense whatsoever. Those are benefits for us. Go back a little bit. He just said there were no benefits.
it's not about racist ancestors.
What like little 13-year-olds are hearing you saying the truth about our history, and what are they to think about this? That you guys didn't do anything for anybody else but yourselves. That's the truth. Truth hurts.
His work.
Could imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What do they then? How do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in
you
terms
don't-
of who I am as a Brit.
But it's not about
I'm not saying
racist
we shouldn't
ancestors.
say it,
But Bev,
but I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely.
Of course there were.
So you
There are
don't
benefits
think-
to us.
I don't think there were.
There are benefits to
Of
us.
course
All
there
of those
are
countries
benefits
did not,
to us, but
Jonathan,
it doesn't
those
make them
countries,
justified.
It absolutely does.
Does it?
those countries did not have money. They did not have the creativity. They did not have people
That's
in
outrageous. That's
positions
outrageous
of
thing to say.
power
Of course, they
to
had
do this.
creativity
No,
in
they
those
didn't.
countries. They just didn't live like Britain did. It doesn't make it worse. It just makes it
So
different.
it's
And
okay
they
to
weren't
live without
asked-
education, and it's okay to
did
live without
have-
a transportation system, is it?
They did have education. It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
This cultural
Medicine
relativism
we
is
brought them.
precisely what we have.
Yes.
I don't know. Look, I don't know why we're.
We now have a generation that believes everything we did.
I mean, right there. I mean, like, how do you even have a conversation with someone that thinks like this? Oh, they didn't have education. How do you? Wait, you burned all their books when you got places. So how do you know what kind of education they had? You know what? They were more educated than you. You did not even have a calendar when you came over here. Your calendar was all messed up. How are, excuse me, family, if they didn't have an education, then how are the pyramids over there in Egypt linked with the ones over here? How did they have observatories with more understanding over here than they had over there in the three parts? How did they have all of the information about the Bible over here that before you even got over here? Talking about money. We had money here. What are you talking about? These are the richest lands. We did trade back and forth. So what do you mean we didn't have money? See, that's the whole thing. Oh, we had money, we had education, and we had transportation. Apparently, you guys didn't have much transportation because before 1492, you couldn't even get over here. So, I mean, the buildings that were here, we taught you guys everything. Over there in Egypt, they had the whole information about the ape. The ape was originally from over here. So all that information they had over there came from here. But see, that's what you got to tell yourself to justify the things that you've done. Oh, we helped them. Well, why don't you ask us if we feel helped? Why don't you ask us how much we feel like we got educated by you? See, this is why we have Psalms 83 fatigue. We've been listening to this BS for 2,000 years. We've been told how we've had a better life by you guys for 2,000 years. We've been told by the thieves that we're not really stealing your stuff. That this is why you are going to have to pay. Because all you guys do is lie. And now the people who made a covenant with you, they're seeing the fact that you've never told the truth, and that you lie about absolutely everything. And now that you're turning on them, now they're really seeing the fact, oh my gosh, we should have never did this to these people. We should have never did this to these black people, because now we're being treated like the black people. We're being treated like them. This isn't fair. You're right. It's not fair. But that's how it is. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Well, we came and we helped you. We gave you transportation. We gave you education. What are you talking about? You guys can't live like this. We have to come over here and give you some of our freedom. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Enjoy the switch. Much love, family. Shalom.